Am I the a-hole for pulling my wig off in the middle of church? This whole situation is such bull to me, but apparently I was being rude, so I'll ask for some outside opinions. I, 17 female, wear wigs. Not because I don't have an amount of hair that I accept, but because my hair breaks easily in harsh conditions, and I'm trying to keep it healthy. Everyone knows I wear wigs, it's no secret. When my hair was at its longest, I preferred to wear it in side parts. My mom preferred it in middle parts. It was easy to tell which one of us did my hair due to this fact. So to this day, I wear my hair and wigs in side parts. My mom bought me a new wig for Christmas. It was really nice, easily my favorite wig. I put it on for a social event and my mom stopped me and told me to go fix it. I asked what was wrong. She said my part wasn't in the middle. I told her I knew, and it was on purpose. She wouldn't let me leave until I put the part in the middle. Every time I wore the wig on a side part, she would make me put it in the middle. Her reasoning? I bought the wig. Therefore it's my wig that you're using. Wear it how I want. Middle parts are just not my style. They make my forehead look big. Side parts help camouflage it, and I like having one eye covered sometimes. We were in church one Sunday and I stepped out to use the restroom. She followed me outside and told me to fix the wig while I was in there, so the part was in the middle. I said no, because the side part worked with the outfit. She kept repeating it and repeating it. Finally, she said if you're not going to listen then give me the wig. You don't deserve it. Okay. So I took the wig off and handed it to her. I went about my business and then went back into church with my braids very obviously exposed. A lot of people were whispering about it, and it didn't help that my mother walked in with it tucked into her dress pocket. She said I embarrassed her and made a big deal out of nothing, that I should just listen when she said to fix the wig. I told her I did listen, just not to the instructions she wanted me to listen to. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. I also have a super controlling mother and did a lot of things to spite her before finally realizing I was hurting myself more than her. If you want long hair, cool. If you only keep it because of her, then why bother? It's a daily reminder to hate your mom. Trust me, living to spite someone gets exhausting. She has no power over you, so she shouldn't factor one bit into any of your decisions, whether they be to obey or rebel against her. OP, you need to escape your mother's programming as soon as possible. The fact that you even thought for a second you were the asshole tells me she's warped your worldview. Set boundaries. If you don't know how, Google it. Her controlling your hair and self-image, guilting you for picking an option she offered, is a huge red flag to me. I felt incompetent and unable to care for myself all of my 20s because of my mother. Once I moved for college I was screwing up classes and my life. I honestly recommend therapy. I've heard of cheap online services that I'm sure a student could afford. My confidence scared my parents growing up. My parents, in turn, acted out of fear and would do anything in their power to regain the least bit of control they thought they had over the littlest things. I'm very glad you mentioned this. I've tried to wrap my head around it over the last couple years, and with some therapy haha. I'm 24 years old now, and my parents have eased up, so I've gotten to pick their brains about what was going on in their heads as they were raising me. My parents' emotional intelligence aren't the greatest, which largely plays into how they would react to things that are out of their control. While I'm their child, to their understanding, I'm first and foremost their property until I'm an independent adult. As I would hope many parents know, this isn't necessarily the case. A parent is meant to discipline, nurture, and guide a child through life. However, in my parents' head, their role was to harness me into a human that they wanted me to be because I was this. My confidence at a young age allowed me to question them and have a higher understanding of what's going around me. I had my own personality and thoughts and I wanted to be free and express them. I wasn't a bad kid. I did extremely well in school, had great social relationships outside my household, etc. My parents just hated the idea of having to explain themselves to a child and worse, to have their ways be questioned by a child. They would in turn react horribly to this act of defiance, which resorted to emotional manipulation or other acts to regain control, which often led to putting me down. A loving, respectful relationship with a child isn't on the forefront of a parent's mind whose only goal is to keep the household in line. My confidence questioned their control and served as a threat to them. Once they felt like they lost control over their child, it was a downward spiral from there. I truly believe if they had worked on their emotional skills, or at least learned how to control their emotions when things don't go their way, prior to being a parent, I'd be in a different relationship with them, but it is what it is. Not the a-hole. I can 100% relate. I have wavy/curly hair. My mom has pin straight hair, and to her pin straight means neat and everything else is messy. I fought with her for years. She bribed hairstylists behind my back. Once I got my hair cut in Malaysia and she called from the US and told my aunt to cut my hair shorter cause I can't maintain long hair. And since I didn't speak the language, I didn't realize what my aunt was telling the hairdresser. When I finally moved out, I started dyeing my hair. It's mine and I like to play at family events, touch my hair and mock it, getting all my aunts and cousins to laugh at me or just give me advice on how to fix it. Call before weddings and beg me to just fix my hair so I don't embarrass her. Every birthday offer to take me to the salon. I don't have a good ending to this. Just saying, I can relate. Some moms just can't get over their daughter's hair, and honestly it's inspiring that you stood up to her. Weirdly, my mom was like this too. My mom used to fight me about dyeing my hair as a teenager, only fought me about dyeing it, never cutting it, but I pushed my way so much that eventually she gave up. My younger sister, however, wasn't allowed to cut her hair or dye it when she was a teenager. It was weird and unfair that I, still a teen, could get highlights and could cut it, and not my sister. But I realized as an adult that since my sister is and has always been considered the pretty one and I've been considered the smart one, she related more to my sister and tried to live through her. She didn't relate to me and didn't try as hard to control my looks. Not the a-hole. She embarrassed herself by trying to make you wear your hair, wig, the way she wanted. To us, the favorite phrase on here, she played a bitch game and won a bitch prize. But I hate to tell you, my dear, that it won't get any better. My mum hated long hair with a vengeance, and when my sister and I were little, she made us keep our hair short, very short. Added to that, we both inherited her curly frizzy hair, so when it was short it was horrible. Once we were old enough, we both started to grow our hair long, and even 50 years later we both still have our hair long. 1. Because when it's long, the weight pulls out the curls, and 2. It's much easier to condition it into looking good. Mum never stopped telling us that we should get it cut. Older women shouldn't have long hair, it wasn't the done thing, etc etc. I know that there is a school of thought that agrees with her opinion, but we both love our long straight tangle free hair which we can wear in lots of different styles, and it's easy to make it look good without loads of work. Everyone's an a-hole here, and truthfully, it's actually worse on you. You're getting plenty of affirmation that your mom is crazy, and I don't disagree. What everyone here is forgetting is you're 17, and her house, her rules. Even the irrational ones, unfortunately. So for a few more months or years, you have to bear it until you're living on your own. I recommend you get the means to do that as soon as possible. I wouldn't care if my daughter wanted to shave her sides and sport a spike mohawk. As a dad, I'm saving it for the short skirts and tube tops. For now, you still depend on her for a roof and food, and until you supply those on your own, obedience comes with the territory. Sorry. Just because someone is a parent does not mean that they are deserving of obedience. Having a parent control you down to where your hair part is not a normal request. Regardless of ops age, she's allowed to choose how she parts her hair. A parent making such insane requests is not just controlling, they're emotionally abusive. OP's mom sucks, I agree. It is totally controlling, and a strong indication of an abusive environment. But my house my rules is a higher law than her hairstyle preferences. She should get out, but until then her hair is not a hill to die on. Everyone's an a-hole. I'm not personally into church, but I take my daughters because it's important to them, and faith is important to some people regardless of which one it is, and some people just take it to be the 1-3 hours of me time they get a week. Couldn't you have take the standard home? Or a walnut? Ever owns an a-hole. I mean, it's a wig, and growing up you have to tell yourself, is this the hill I'm going to die on today? The way I see it is, it's a wig and you are in place where you need to act mature. You dug your heels into the ground by wanting it a side part, which made you in the end have your wig taken from you. I know Op gave it up, but she was going to have it taken if she kept fighting. Now your church is giving the impression that you are immature, which is not a big deal. But as you mature you learn how to compromise, or to just do something, so that a fight will not break out at all. This could have easily been avoided. Thanks for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe for more videos. See you all later.